This is Jack White with another Monday morning message for the Capital District Growth Team. We are back again with Don Canaday, the president of Kiwanis International, who is, to my way of thinking, probably the leading exponent and practitioner of new club building in Kiwanis. 108 new clubs almost. He's working on his 108th now. Are you there, Don?
Yes. Delighted to be here, Jack.
All right. Last time we talked about the fact that, as I remember you saying, that any town that has a school building is a prospect for a new Kiwanis club. So you don't have to hunt too hard to find a place where you can build one. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct.
And you told us how you went about finding some people. Now, you've been introduced. You've gone to the school superintendent, and they've led you to principals, and then you've gone to the mayor, and you've gone to different people. That's all very nice, but in the business world, they talk of closing the sale. Is that the term you use in new club building?
Absolutely.
Tell me, how do you close the sale with a prospect?
Well, as I said earlier, I go on referrals, and so I've had a referral from the mayor, from anyone that is
police chief or anybody.
And when I go in, I'm asking to see this person because the mayor or Attorney Jack White has sent me, and I'm going to get an opportunity to talk to him. And then I introduce myself and I say, "Are you familiar with Kiwanis?" And I really don't care what they say. If they say no, then I tell them what Kiwanis is. If they say yes, I ask them, "How are you familiar with Kiwanis?" And I might get some information like, "Well, my grandfather was in Kiwanis, I was in Key Club," or "You're the guys that do the glasses." No. But then I tell them that Kiwanis is a service organization, and our focus is filling the needs of children, and we have some great programs in support of high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, but the children of their community have been denied the benefits of these programs.
And you come right out and say been denied.
Right. Because there hasn't been a Kiwanis club here to support it, and we're fixing it. We're organizing a Kiwanis club. In fact, your mayor and your superintendent of schools, and if you look at this list, these people have already made the decision to be part of this new Kiwanis club. And when I asked the mayor who did he know that he thought was quality enough to become a member of the charter member of this Kiwanis club, he immediately gave me your name. Well, two things happen. Number one, you go on a little bit of an ego trip because somebody that you have a relationship with says that you're quality enough. Secondly, you're going to feel more comfortable to make a commitment to join this Kiwanis club because people you know, you respect, you have a relationship with have already made that commitment. So it's more comfortable for you to. So
your form of new club building does not involve group meetings, mailings, or anything like that. It's see one and get them to refer you to the next person. Is that it?
That's basically it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't use letters, but I do have one information meeting before I have the first pre-organization meeting because I want this core group. I may have signed up 25 people, and I want them to come to that first information meeting and be part of the recruiting process.
That's after you've already gotten your first dozen or 20
yes.
or something like that.
Yes.
You start from dead cold, though.
Yes. And I want them to be part of the recruiting process.
All right. Now, once you have a core group in the community and this meeting is held, and all this is done pretty quickly, isn't it?
Very quickly.
And what happens at that meeting?
At that meeting, I'm going to give the same thing. I'm going to sell Kiwanis. I'm going to tell them, for example, I'm going to say we've already identified one of the things that this club is going to do, and that's the Bring Up Grades program, and I explained that. So there's a need that we're going to fill. There's something that's going to happen.
It's more than just something else to join.
Right. And then I try to close the sale on anybody that's there that hasn't already made that commitment.
All right.
Then, like a week later, we're going to have our pre-organization meeting, and a week later, we're going to have our organization meeting. And then 6 to 8 weeks out from that, we're going to have our Charter Night celebration.
All right. And so you have had some pretty fancy numbers of the clubs that I've been aware of you doing. We think they're fancy anyway, going 40 to 80 new members. What 25 is the general max minimum. There is an exception for very small communities. What do you feel is a realistic goal, and how do you know when to stop pounding the pavement and start getting the club going?
As long as I've got referrals, we follow up on it. That's how you end up with 74 members at charter night or whatever. But I'm just a firm believer that we have too many clubs that fail within 2 to 3 years that started with only 25. The more
So you think 25 is an absolute minimum? You need to get
it
above
isn't. I don't like to stop there. You know, I want 35 or 40 as a minimum, because the chances of survival of that club go up tremendously when you have those kinds of numbers.
And you get to the point they sign the application, you send the charter application through the various hands it has to pass through, and how long from that time until the charter's back and you can have the charter night?
Usually 6 to 8 weeks. You know, you got to coordinate with the governor, make sure the governor's available to be there to present the charter.
That's one of the jobs that most governors will do, right?
Yes, yes.
And you have this, and that's a right nice dinner or event.
Sit-down dinner, and you want to have representatives from every club in the division. I like to have a silent auction in conjunction with charter night, so that's their first fundraiser, so that they have money to do.
I think I was with you a couple years ago, and they, in a very small town, they got $2,500.
Yes.
You said some towns get a lot more than that,
Yes.
of course, right?
Yes.
And that's money in their bank to start.
And there
with.
is a published brochure on how to conduct a silent auction available from Kiwanis International.
And that's 1-800-Kiwanis. You call and they'll mail it to you.
That's correct.
Anything else you'd like to say about building new clubs, except it's an important part of our life together?
Well, I'll say this. If you build a club, you build a legacy for yourself. I think about a club that I built 22 years ago, and all of the members that have come through that club in 22 years, and all the lives that they've touched. That's a legacy.
Let's stop right there, Don Canaday. I hope this gets the Capital District and any others that hear this fired up, and that we will enter a period of new club building that we haven't seen for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
For the Capital District Ghost Team, this is Jack White with another Monday morning message. Thank you for listening.